the garden guy. Of course, this is Derek Thomas, our garden guru, and he has so willingly accepted your questions, and we want to get right to it, right?
Absolutely,
absolutely. Okay. Should I read it?
Yeah.
All right.
We've got some good ones.
Well, multiple viewers have asked. In the past segments, you said it would be better to not bring in plants after summer outside because of insects. We have several plants in the garden that we would like to keep. Is there a safe way to bring them in?
Right. The best thing to do is not bring them in. But if you have to, depending on the plant, there's different methods that you can use. I like to use an insecticidal soap. Or if you don't have an insecticidal soap, you can use a gentle soap like this happens to be Dawn, but you can use any gentle soap. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're cleaning the leaves because you could have, even though the insects may not be visible, you could have insect eggs. And also make sure you get the underside and make sure you get the stems. Now, if the plants happen to have soft leaves like this coleus, don't use a spray or anything on there because it could actually damage the leaves.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about a plant like coleus is these were cut out of the garden. You can take cuttings, take all of this off, put it in water in a sunny windowsill. This plant will give you roots, and then you can replant it into fresh soil and a fresh container. One of the biggest ways that we do bring insects in the fall is through the soil. So take the plant out, look and see if you see ants or any, snails or any evidence that there could be insects in there. If you do see it, take the time to soak the entire container overnight in water, and that will usually give the bugs the cue that they need to get out.
Get them out, okay. Peggy from Fort Washington asks you, Derek, should I clean and store my garden tools in preparation of winter? Are there any special ways to keep tools over the winter months?
Don't store your tools if they look like this. What you want to do is any dirt or anything that happens to be in there, it's a good idea to soak it. What you really want to be doing is cleaning the shovels. The shovel up top here is dirty. It's been well used this year. This is how your shovel should look when it's ready to be stored. The next thing that you want to do is, with hand tools and things like that, make sure that you clean the dirt off. I like to use an alcohol swab. The good thing for that is you can take and clean the tool, make sure that any dirt is off of it, and then go behind it. This has been soaked in a 3-in-1 oil. You can get that at the hardware store, 3-in-1 oil.
Okay.
Clean that up like that. Let it dry, then close your hand tools. Store them in a cool, dry place for the winter.
Stuart from Greenbelt asks you, over the past few winters, my roses have died back worse than in the last decade. I'm sure you understand what that means because you're a garden person. Is there a way to insulate my roses in the wintertime?
Over the past couple of winters, what has been happening is actually it's been heaving, which means that the soil gets frozen, we get snowmageddon, the soil thaws out, the rose comes out. The thing to do with a rose, you've got a graft here. What you want to do is you want to get in there, you want to fill it up. After the first killing freeze, not frost, but once we get a freeze where the temperatures drop below 32 and stay there, mound it up to the graft on the rose. Take a little bit of burlap, wrap the rose, and particularly if you're out in the suburbs, this is a good idea. You can use a string to tie this up with, and what that does is it keeps the rose frozen, and it prevents the heaving and thawing, which will kill the rose.
Say, aren't you glad we have Derek? I am. Thanks so much. Thanks for answering these questions.
Thank you. Check us out on Facebook, Thomas Landscapes on Facebook.
I love it. We'll be right back with the answer to today's trivia question. Stay with us.